So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the.
All right, good morning, guys. Happy Tuesday. How's everybody doing tonight? This morning. Get the caffeine going. Hope you drank your water this morning. Still drinking mine. Big earnings morning in the markets today. We got a lot of big tickers. Before the market opens, UPS, McDonald's, 3M, Pepsi, JetBlue, Verizon, Dow, Invesco, GM, GE, Healthcare, Xerox, Corning, Kimberly-Clark. I was just trying to read through a few of these. It looks like GM, Pepsi, and McDonald's all came out pretty good this morning. Let's see what Novartis is doing. First Republic Bank plunges after it said deposits fell by 40%. UPS down 3. UPS said quarterly results missed analyst expectations. 3M. What did they say? It would cut 6,000 positions globally. Came in higher than expectations on earnings, though. McDonald's. Came in at 263 EPS versus expectations of 233. That's a pretty healthy beat. Novartis signaling that they expect sales to grow by mid-single digits. All right. All right. What else we got here? Bye. Love you. European markets red. Asian mostly red. U.S. futures are red. Gold is down. Oil is down. Gold and silver are down. Right now in pre-market, we got AMC posting up at about $4.90, APE at $1.51, GameStop at $19.77, and Bed Bath & Beyond at 18.9 cents. Highcroft, where's Highcroft at? Highcroft's at 38 cents. Mullen is at 9.96. 9.6 cents. Trevor says I'm tired. Were you up all night with me, Trevor? Edward says he has T-Mobile and it's telling him 1 cent per minute. I didn't get any message like that when I dialed in. It just said, I got a line when I called in a little while ago, and then it said muted. CFAT says, "You're welcome, McDonald's." Yeah. I don't have any McDonald's in my portfolio right now, but it's always been a good stock. Jorge, what's up? He says, what is the price of AMC going to be if that occurs today? If what occurs today? I think the only thing we're going to find out today is some scheduling related to the settlement. We're not going to get any firm decision. We might find out that our 60-day countdown has begun. Noisy Corax, what's up? He says, go figure that Staples are doing well along with McDonald's and Pepsi. Hey, Noisy Corax, are you doing earnings modeling also? I can't remember who all's doing that. I wanted a couple of... I messaged on Twitter if anyone is doing earnings modeling, like real modeling, to message me. Only one person did, and his numbers were very close to my model. Okay. All right. Doc Zeno, what's up, amigo? Jorge says after the reverse split. What is the price of AMC going to be after the reverse split? Well, I just think in general that, if we look at where we're at right now, $4.90 and $1.50, this is just my guess, right? Nobody knows for sure. There's a lot of theories, Jorge. Shamath says, longtime Bitcoin bull says crypto is dead in America. What the heck? A lot of theories what's going to happen, but I think that if we're looking at $4.96 for AMC today and APE is at $1.50, if they were to announce a settlement today, I think you'd see immediately APE go up and AMC go down, the prices. They're not going to meet exactly in the middle because the float of APE is higher. But you're going to see that downward and upward pressure. Where exactly are they going to end up? All right. I think that they'll end up at some point where APE is half the price, roughly about half the price of AMC. In other words, if AMC were not to move, I would expect APE to go up to about $2.50. And that could happen. I mean, AMC could just stand still and APE could go up. But I think the more likely scenario is they'll come down to meet each other. And they won't meet exactly. Shamath Palihapitia. Good Lord, I wish I knew how to say his name. Said 2 years ago that Bitcoin replaced gold and predicted Bitcoin would climb to 200,000. Has a much more cautious view on cryptocurrencies these days. Surprising how that happens. Surprising how we all get our little wake-up call. Now he's saying it's dead in America thanks to the SEC. Well, you guys remember about 2 years ago where I said the number one thing that I am worried about in crypto is the effect of regulatory on it? Here we are. Here we are. It took a long time for me to be right, but now Mr. Shamath P finally agrees with Tony Denaro. Dylan says, how can we listen to the audio? Let me see, Dylan, if I can find the dial-in numbers. I'll put them up on the screen for you. Hang on one second. It's on my YouTube community tab. I'll put it on the screen for you guys. Stand by. There you go. I've got my phone on the charger back there. I need to get one of those. I need to get one of those induction charging stations that I can just set my phone right here in front of my face. I do have my phone dialed in. It's just back there waiting. It's 8:03, so we've got 12 minutes, and according to what I read, you know, the call host will come on about 5 minutes before the call starts. As far as anybody joining in, according to the judge's instructions, which I did not have page 2 when I posted this, we're not supposed to record the call, so I'm not going to play the audio of the call. Here are the numbers if you want to call in. What I'm going to do for those of you, especially overseas, that don't want to pay long distance, I'm going to be listening and relay to you what they say. I have no idea how long this call is going to be. Doc Zeno says, words of wisdom, expect a wake-up call before you wake up. You'll always be ahead of the game, and you'll maintain existential equilibrium. Fat Mac says, if you have 2,000 shares combined, AMC and APE, how many shares will you have after reverse split? 200. You'll have 200. Thank you, Corax. He's saying there's usually a recording of the transcript after the fact on file and serve. File and serve charges folks to get all those downloads though, right? Every time I log in there, it wants to charge me $25 for some shit. Let's see, while we're waiting, I'm going to go back to this other monitor here. If we look at APE, last time we thought there was a settlement and it ran up to like 336. That was in February. It ran up to 336. What was the AMC at that point? February 6th. We got the host. For those just listening in, they're They're figuring out who's going to be talking today. The different counsels for each side are checking in. Good morning, McCaptain Crazy. DevStat, good morning. If you hear anyone in the call go, oop, just hang up. We're all muted. Anyone that's calling in, it's a muted line, so. Sounds like all the attorneys are on the line. We're waiting for the judge to join in. Riptide, good morning. You are welcome. No one can stream the audio. Bird Eye, the judge said no recording of the call. So just to make sure we don't get in trouble, I'm not going to play the audio. The numbers are here on the screen if you want to listen in along with me. AMC at 489 right now. APE is at 151. Oh man, Mullen's down 6% this morning. What's happening with Mullen? 9 cents for Mullen. Or Mullins. Mullins is down 6%, as Mr. Harge likes to say. Sure do like Mullins. There's a couple of YouTubers that I follow that do like 5 videos a day on Mullen. They were talking it up so much over the weekend. And I was just like, I get them wanting to be hype about it, but they never really talk about the dilution and the upcoming reverse split and the fact that the company has no income. Ms. Amato has joined the call. Ms. Amato has joined the call. Four minutes to go till we start up here. Fire Gary Gensler. Let crypto, set crypto free. Birdseye says, why doesn't Adam Aaron just open up a GoFundMe to directly pay down the debt? You know, if he did, I don't think I would contribute to it, Birdseye. I don't. I mean, I'm not going to hand the company money that I get nothing for. If we just donated money, that's, to me, not a very good use of our funds. Give me some shares. I'll buy some shares. You know, even if the shares I buy go down, at least I have something to show for it. So sell me some shares. And I guess he could open a GoFundMe, but I certainly would not contribute to it. Sell me a share. Give me some ownership for the money I hand over. I'm stingy like that. Good morning, Benjamin. Yeah, or buy popcorn. Phineas says, get something for your money. I have no problem buying popcorn, buying a gourmet burger, buying a $8 Diet Coke. Get something. I don't think that all the collector's items that we buy, the popcorn buckets and all that, the hoodies, caps, that AMC, I think, probably makes very little off of those, because you got to pay the licensing fee, and the people that made the item, you got to pay them. So that's probably very thin margin, just my guess. But buying food, drinks, etc. at the movie theaters, that's about a 80% margin contribution. And, you got to eat. Phil for real, what's up? He's out of timeout. I was gonna send you an apology and hope you weren't mad at me, Phil. I never saw you come back last night. I was like, man, I hope I didn't make Phil mad. We had to put Phil in timeout last night because he said the name in chat of those who shall not be named. Simon says, what is there to stop Adam Aaron from filing bankruptcy? I mean, there's nothing stopping him, but you have to actually be in a position of being bankrupt. You can't just go file bankruptcy when you're in okay shape. Right now, the company's not on the, we're getting close. We're a couple quarters away, but we're not at bankruptcy point yet. We still have, the industry's growing, and the company has the ability, if this lawsuit gets out of the way, to raise cash. But if this lawsuit drags out past end of June into July, we got to go a whole nother quarter without raising money. Judge Zern has just joined the call. They're getting started, saying their good mornings. Yeah, let me put the numbers up here again. Feel free to join in. If you want to listen, you can dial any of these numbers. Birdseye says, why haven't they thrown away the case yet? The case is more than about just the vote, Birdseye. The plaintiffs had some complaints, and they filed it as a class action. So now the judge has to consider the complaints. They're still saying good mornings. It's a lot of good mornings when there's a lot of attorneys on the line. DeJamin says, how about lending AMC money in exchange? I mean, yeah, if they could sell some more bonds, right? That's basically what a bond is. Jeffrey, good morning. All right, let's see what the judge has to say here. The judge is complaining that the official settlement hasn't been filed yet. She said she's in the dark. Like, why haven't you guys filed an official settlement? Second item she wants to talk about is scheduling the hearing for settlement. She said we're getting an unusually large number of letters of objection, and I expect that we're going to get a large number of letters in support, which is also unusual. She said part of her solution for dealing with all the letters is to bring in the special counsel. She wants the attorneys to give any inputs they have on that. Now she's checking with the council to see if they have any other agenda items they'd like to talk about. Counsel for the plaintiffs, I think, is talking now. They said they fully support bringing in the special master. He's saying there's certain common misconceptions evident in all the letters that are being sent in. Duh. He'd like to give some context to people listening in. He wants to tell us some things on this call to help you focus on what's important. The judge is saying, I want to focus on logistics today. All right. Opposing counsel now talking. Well, that was quick. I didn't even hear what he said. Judge Zern, back to judge. I can't play the audio, guys. Whoever's asking to put it on speaker, we're not allowed to record it. The numbers are on the screen if you want to call in. Only objections that are posted after the settlement is posted will be considered, as Judge Zern just said. Objections must be under your real and full name and have documentary evidence that you are a shareholder. They must have a legal basis for your objection. Legal basis. Get your attorney to help you write your objection letter. All right, now we're going back to counsel to hear their thoughts of what she just said. You can take a screenshot of your brokerage account, the counsel saying, to prove your ownership. When you send in your objection letter after the settlement has been posted and you've been notified by AMC. I guess we won't be seeing a letter from Lou then. Letters should go to plaintiff's counsel or defendant's counsel, not to the court. Interesting. There'll be instructions about all this too. So you do have to prove your ownership by submitting a screenshot is what they're suggesting, but make sure you don't have, it's going to be a public record. So You got to be careful of what information you give. That's interesting. All of your ownership when you send in those objection letters is going to be public record. This will be fun. Defense is talking about they're worried about they need to bolster cash reserves. What I was ranting about last night. He's just saying we're going to send out notices on 8K, PR Newswire, AMC's website when the settlement is official. And the plaintiffs are going to also send out the notice. Dana. All right, back to Judge Zern. Their request, the defense had request to truncate the schedule, shorten it. She's saying, like, when you send in your screenshot, they need your account number, proof of ownership, how many shares, but you want to block out your account number except for the last 4 digits. Got to have your name. Got to prove your ownership with a screenshot of your shares. Don't reveal your entire account number. Once you submit your letter to the plaintiffs or defense, your objection, they will have the responsibility to vet and make sure that it's legit, and then they will submit it to the judge. She just said, I don't think it's going to be possible to do this in less than 60 days. She's chastising them for having not submitted anything for 2 weeks. Like, where's the damn settlement? Why haven't you guys posted it? She is not inclined to speed up the process, considering that nobody submitted anything to her for 2 weeks. All right. The attorneys are saying, we got the papers ready to go, Your Honor. They're saying they haven't submitted because they wanted to talk to her first. They're coming shortly, the settlement papers. It's actually, Ellie, the plaintiffs that are going to submit the settlement papers. They're working together, the plaintiffs and the defense, to coordinate it, but the plaintiffs will submit the settlement. The counsel saying he's very worried about this dragging out into the fall, and he's trying to get a date on the calendar in June. 60 days from today is what he's asking for. Yeah, I'm worried about it dragging into the fall too. You should have heard me bitching last night. Defense is saying they want to get this going too because they want to do fundraising before August. The time to do the financing to pay off the debt. Well, that was the actual words that he just used. I need to check the dates on the debt. I'm going to pull up a filing here. Judge Zern is saying, I'm hearing you attorneys both saying you want a settlement hearing in late June. Now she's going to give them a few more thoughts. Yeah. She's talking through the logistics of how they would do a late June settlement right now. She's asking him, when can you file the damn brief? When can we see your settlement? Council saying they think they can get the paperwork filed today. If not today, then tomorrow. Wait, now he's saying 7 to 10 days. They're still talking about chopping down that 60-day period. Council is. He's like, it's not really that much, Your Honor. It's just 40 days, 45. It's just a little bit short of 60. They're really trying to push this through quick. Someone's worried about something like running out of cash, making a debt payment. I don't know. Paying off some debt before it has to be goes in default. That he's not saying specifically. AMC is definitely running low on cash, Trey. I'll put a video out later today on that. They're definitely running low on cash. Anyone telling you otherwise is lying to you. You're going to be shocked when you see my video how much cash we just burned through in Q1. They're just talking back and forth now, trying to figure out how they're going to get the notice out, when they're going to file the brief, when they're going to file the settlement. The judge is pushing for 60 days. The counsel for both sides is saying, like, we'd like it to be less than 60 days. For those that are just joining in, the judge is talking about June 29th and 30th to meet and wrap up the settlement. That's like what, a week for them to get in the paperwork, put out the notice, and then 60 days, June 29th and 30th. Just a proposal. Nothing's decided yet. Pat, I cannot record the call, so I'm trying to obey court orders, Pat. The numbers are right here if you want to call in and listen to. Here comes the judge is being paid off. Yeah, you're gonna hear all sorts of talk about the judge. Trust me. You know how this community is. Everything's a conspiracy. The judge is, she's advocating for shareholders to give you your full 60 days. That's what she's doing. Clearly, counsel for both sides is very interested in getting this faster than 60 days. The judge is saying no. Yeah, she's doing her job. It sounds like when they have the hearing at the end of June that you will be able to attend that in person if there's room, she said. I guess she's expecting a lot of people to show up, plus the media. Now, going back to counsel for comments. I think that we're going to have to talk about this. Like, do you need to show up if you really object, or is just sending in a letter good enough? What Chance the lawyer told me is you can send in your letter to object, but you also need to show up at the court to speak on your own behalf. I don't know that for sure, but that's what Chance told me. She's saying when we get to that point, plaintiff's counsel should catalog all the letters if they have a proper objection, if they're submitted after the settlement date, proper objection and proper proof of ownership. She wants those submitted to her. We talked about this. If you missed the beginning of the call, you're going to have to send in a screenshot of your account. Block out the account number, leave the last 4 digits. Got to have your name on it, your shares, and your account number. Block out your account number. Last 4 digits only. There'll be more on this. I'm just telling you what they're talking about here. There'll be more in the notice. The judge hasn't said anything, Lewis, about AMC's cash position. You're making facts up. She said that she doesn't see the need to shorten the period for investors to get in their objection. She didn't give a reason. She didn't say not because of the cash is fine. She did not say that. She did say today, like, if you guys are in a hurry, why have I not heard anything from you for 2 weeks? Like, where's the damn settlement? John says she said it in other court appearances. Okay, maybe she did. I haven't seen all of the minutes. Maybe I missed something. Adam Aaron doesn't want to show the settlement agreement. What the hell are you talking about? La Isla Grande? It's everybody. It's gonna be shown. It's gonna be public record. It's already been agreed to. They're gonna show it. Come on, you guys. This is a type of conspiracy comment. Like, do you even understand what you're saying? How brainwashed you are? They're talking about electronic notice of the settlement versus mailing everybody. They're saying they don't want to mail everybody because it's going to be a massively huge expense. The notice of the settlement next week. Waiting for the judge to answer. Waiting for the judge to answer all that. Again, plaintiffs and defense both are asking for a shorter period than 60 days, and the judge is saying no. So we're looking at end of June. The vineyards, why would they not have the settlement ready? That's what Judge Zern asked. Like, why have you guys been quiet for 2 weeks? To the plaintiff and the defense. Like, why haven't you submitted anything? They said that they wanted to have a chance to talk to her first. They're just arguing if electronic notice is adequate versus mailing everybody. They're still arguing about that. Not really arguing. I mean, they're going back and forth. They're really pushing hard just to do a electronic notification. Citing previous case law where electronic notification was adequate. He is saying there's almost 4 million people. There's your count of how many shareholders there are. She said, I don't understand. I'm looking at this. It says there's 11,000. She doesn't realize that includes the brokers, and 4 million is under the brokers. Did I hear that right? That you guys that were listening in when they said $2.9 million, is that what they were saying was going to be the expense of the mailing? Jesus Christ, $2.9 million. That's a lot of stamps. Hate time, I agree with you, buddy. Yeah, Stefan, I don't know. I would assume it's worldwide. Fear of God's asking, do we need to send in screenshots of our positions? If you're going to send in an objection letter, you must provide proof of ownership or a support letter. If they can't validate you own shares, then they're not going to consider your letter. There'll be more instructions on that. All right, they're wrapping up. So, all right, they wrapped up. Just to recap for anybody that's joining in, the judge is advocating for shareholders that she wants you guys to have the full 60 days to get your letters in. The attorneys were saying that they wanted to truncate that 60 days to maybe 45. She gave them a lot of pushback. So, she is an advocate for the shareholders, an advocate for the class. And it sounds like, in this phone call anyways, that she wanted people to have the full 60 days to get your letters in. And they talked a lot about, in the beginning of the call, that you will need to have a legal basis for your objection, not just an emotional rant. And you will need to provide proof of ownership with a screenshot, is what I heard them say, with your name, with your proof of your shares, with your account number blocked out except for the last 4 digits. Don't take what I'm saying as gospel right now. I'm fairly certain there will be clear instructions once the settlement is officially sent in from the plaintiffs to the judge. The plaintiffs will submit the settlement. Then the notifications will go out to everybody on websites, 8Ks, Twitter, and it sounds like probably in the mail also. $2.9 million spent to mail it to everybody. We heard that there were about 3.8 million shareholders. And also, I'm sure you will want to read how to file your objection, because what I heard her say is the objection letters should be sent to plaintiff's counsel, not to the court. So let's wait until we get the actual instructions. If you want to send in a letter of objection or support, you'll need to provide, everything they just went through in this call, which is why Chance the lawyer was telling us earlier, if you really want your objection to the settlement. I mean, again, guys, you can send in whatever letter you want, but for it to be, the judge said today, for me to consider it, you got to mail it in with all this proof. The plaintiff's attorneys or the defense or the special master need to validate that you're a valid shareholder. Only then should it be submitted to the court. That's what I heard today. Doesn't mean that any letter you sent in was useless. I'm not trying to say that, but I'm just relaying what they said today. I heard counsel, they brought up the concern. The reason they're wanting to shorten the 60-day period is they have some debt apparently that they want to pay off. They want to raise money before August. And it looks like the judge is trying to schedule this for, what did she say? June 29th and 30th. And to allow 2 days for the settlement hearing, for people to show up and make your case. That's what I heard. And Chance, the lawyer, also told me that, like, you really need to plan on showing up. Like, mailing in a letter is one thing, but I heard the judge say, because I'm expecting a lot of people, we're probably gonna plan 2 days for this. I don't know how many people will actually show up, but I guess if you live up in that area, and I'm sure there'll be people from around the country that will fly in too. Why wasn't the settlement ready? That is, Adam Aaron is not to be trusted. Ryan, come on. Ryan, the plaintiff will be submitting the settlement. So why you're blaming Adam Aaron, I don't know. The plaintiff's attorneys submit the settlement. What counsel said today on the phone call is they haven't submitted it yet because they wanted to talk to the judge today first. I'm just relaying what was said. I'm not defending anybody. But she did chastise both sides for not submitting anything in 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks. She's like, it's been 2 weeks and I haven't heard from you guys. They said, oh, we're really sorry, Your Honor. We really just wanted to talk to you first. Again, like Chance the lawyer said, guys, at this point, the plaintiffs, Allegheny's attorneys, and AMC's are both on the same team to move a settlement through the process. This is not, no one's holding anything up, right? Adam Aaron, AMC, is not holding anything up. It's the two attorneys working together. They've agreed on a settlement. They need to submit that. No one's dragging, Adam Aaron, AMC is not dragging the plaintiffs back. It's agreed to. They just need to fucking submit it. You guys need to get out of this brainwashed conspiracy bullshit. Or go to a different channel with that nonsense. Not going to be tolerated here. Ryan drinking the Kool-Aid, Mippy Jr. says. We need baby Jesus. Please, baby Jesus, open these babies' eyes. We got a lot of hoodwinked investors out there that have drank the Kool-Aid and fallen for the clickbait. Do I have any opinion on the whole matter, Chris? I do have an opinion. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I've said my opinion many times. Ask me a more pointed question. I mean, my opinion at this point is irrelevant, really. There's clearly going to be a settlement unless in the objection letters there is some legal basis that can convince the judge that the settlement is not fair. They didn't even talk about Mr. Tuttle today. I don't know what the update is on that. As far as the whole thing, like, my opinion's irrelevant because somebody filed a lawsuit, and so now we're just all along for the ride. I don't know. I mean, my opinion is that dragging this out one day or 60 days is hurting all of us because the company can't raise cash. And I'll go through that more when I drop the video later today, showing you my estimate of the Q1 earnings. You know, that's going to be here in the first week of May. You guys already know about that. AMC has it scheduled pre-market. I ran the numbers through my spreadsheet model. And, you know, I think, guys, the earnings is going to be okay. It's going to be a negative. It's going to be a little bit better than last quarter. But what I realized, if my model is close to correct, and it's usually close to correct, we burned through that 600 million. We burned through a fuck ton of it in Q1, which means we're like 1.5 quarters away from no cash, is my rough estimate. And when we get low enough on cash, the lenders that loaned AMC money, they're not going to wait for it to go to zero, right? If you get low enough, the lenders are going to foreclose on the company. They're not going to wait for the bank account to be done. They're going to say, you're out of money. You don't have enough to pay us. You don't have enough to meet your obligations. And you need to file Chapter 11. You need to get some protection. We are toast at that point. This company is toast. You're going to see the price drop just like Bed Bath & Beyond. So it is vital that before July, and it sounds like that we're moving that way now. I mean, we got the train back on the tracks, getting this settlement hearing done. We're not going to derail, but it is vital that they get this done. This every day this drags out is one day closer to real bankruptcy. And I'm not just saying that to scare anybody or to advocate for the vote already happened. The settlement's going to happen. I have no basis to advocate for anything other than telling you what's going to happen if they can't raise cash. And I don't want my position to go to zero. I don't want to be in a Bed Bath & Beyond situation. That is the only thing I'm trying to explain to you guys. The vote already happened. I don't care. I mean, all the people calling me names. Oh, he wants his ape to, it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter what any of us think about short interest or ape or AMC. We're at real potential of everything going to zero if they don't fucking work this out and let AMC raise some money. And I'm not exaggerating here. Tanner Tate says, why should we trust your numbers? Tanner, is this your first day here? First day, bruh? If there is one person in the last 2 years who has been here every day and not lied to you about shit, this is the fucking channel. I'm not the guy that sits there and talks to the camera and provides no backup for what I say. I will provide you all the due diligence. Anyone who disagrees with me will not one time ever show you any financial evidence of what they're talking about. I'm going to lay it all out for you. And I dare anybody to provide evidence to the contrary with a financial rebuttal. Like, show me your spreadsheet, show me your income statement, show me your model. I'm going to lay that out for you here. And I do it pretty much every quarter. And we get really, really close. But all the other people talking this nonsense, the company's not going to go bankrupt. Have they ever one time explained to you how a balance sheet or income statement works or walked through the financials? No, because they can't. They're talking out of their ass. They want MOAS or bankruptcy. I've heard them say it. I'm not going to stand for letting my investment go to zero because of these dumbasses. All right, time to smoke some people here.
Bye, Felicia. Karen,
I tried, Tanner. I
bring me
really
your
tried.
torch.
Chinga tu madre!
The
Go
tribe
back to the
has
clickbait
spoken.
channels. You know, you're not prepared for facts.
It's time for you to leave Ape Island.
I feel, you know, you guys that are listening to the clickbait, you are literally you're going to blow up your account. Maybe not today, maybe not in June, but the people you're listening to are going to lose your entire portfolio because they're not explaining anything about financials to you. You're literally going to lose everything. Why should we trust your numbers? Is anybody else showing you numbers? No. I just feel like I know that Adam Aaron's a crook. All right, you can know. That's all fine. Have your opinions about Adam Aaron. Have your opinions about anything, but you don't impress me until you show me your model of the income statement of how we're not going to go bankrupt if we can't raise cash. If you can't walk me through that, then you're blowing smoke. As far as I'm concerned, to any other YouTuber, you're blowing smoke up your viewer's ass. Yeah, I said back in January that Bed Bath & Beyond is going to file bankruptcy. I've called all these tickers that you guys have been playing, these penny stocks that I refuse to talk about that are now delisted. There's a reason. I can look at the balance sheet and tell you in about 2 minutes if a company's going to go bankrupt. I have a pretty good track record of telling you guys what to stay away from. And I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that I'm very worried about this company if we can't raise cash. And it has nothing to do with any position I have, Ape or AMC. That is irrelevant at this point. If we run out of cash, we're all toast. We're going to be sitting there like the BY investors whining about a 20-cent stock. Did I just call Adam Aaron a crook? Justin, I said other people on other channels can call him a crook. I mean, that doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm looking all the content I'm providing here is based on looking at the financial statements and watching AMC's cash position getting run down. That is it at this point. The vote already happened. I don't care about AMC and Ape vote. The settlement's going to happen. Just like I told you, the reverse split and the conversion is going to happen. But at this point, the dragging it out is killing this company from the perspective of draining the cash and making the shorts very emboldened. You wonder why the short interest isn't going down, why the shorts might even be going up. They're licking their chops watching this whole thing play out and drag out because it's draining AMC's bank account. Do I think any of this has to do with CBDC? No. That's more clickbait stuff, chimetic. CBDC has absolutely nothing to do with this play. Believe me, I know the crazies that push that. Oh, they're just delaying it so they can pay you with the CBDC. Guys, I've got a whole series of videos on my channel, a playlist on crypto. I've done extensive coverage on CBDC, including providing you snippets of congressional testimony. It's not going to be anytime soon, CBDC. I get it. All the conspiracy theorist people think it's dropping tomorrow. I'm no fan of a CBDC. Let's not get it twisted. It is coming. I'm not a fan, but it's not coming anywhere near in the time frame what these kooks are telling you. And I'm sorry if you're one of the kooks, but or if you've bought into that. Our banking system is way too complex for them to just push that through. That is my opinion. And that is also the testimony that was made in front of Congress. Finishing up what we were talking about, cash, though. Q1 burned a lot of our cash, and I think you'll see that here in a week or so. Q2, this is a great quarter, the one we're in right now, April, May, June, with Super Mario and I think some of the other great movies that are on the slate for Q2. We're going to see less of a cash burn in Q2. So if we can get the settlement done by end of June, we will still have enough to be okay in Q3. We're getting dangerously close to the bottom of the barrel as far as cash goes. But if we can raise some cash in July, we will make it. We will make it. I think. I can't guarantee anything. I don't know, what screws the lenders are going to twist. AMC, the people that loaned AMC $5 billion, they're the ones you got to worry about when they pull the plug, when they tell AMC you're toast. You don't have enough cash to pay your bills. I think if we can get the settlement done by end of June, we will just squeak through. When is CBDC a reality? Probably like a year from now at the soonest. Katniss. And I don't like CBDC. I don't like the control. I don't like the direction this is going. As we get closer to them rolling out, I'll provide some more coverage on it. Or the next time there's a congressional hearing. I am following it. I'm not bought into pushing conspiracy theories, so I'm not pumping out content every day talking about how they're going to force a CBDC to pay you your MOAS in crypto. That's just like clickbait nonsense. That's some Lou bullshit from 2 years ago that people still talk about every day. Shaching Dream says, you got to explain your comment there. You do realize shareholders of any company has ever had an impact in the courts like this? Yeah, I mean, it's a big deal, Cha-ching. How am I downplaying anything? You're going to have to back yourself up. I'll give you one more chance, Mr. Cha-ching. What have I said here that hurt your feelings? There's a lot of feels in this chat. We're not about emotions here on this channel, guys. This is black and white, hard facts. You're going to come in here with feelings in the comments. Be prepared to back yourself up, or I will boot your ass. You got a chance right now to tell me how I hurt your feelings. How did I minimize this case? I'm doing my best to be impartial and explain to you what is on the line here. I don't care how you voted. I don't care if you send in letters. You do whatever you need to. I have no problem with that. Do I think popcorn and Walmart and the box office numbers plus concessions are enough to sustain AMC without a split? No. The split is irrelevant, Cujo. It's the cash raise that has to happen. And no, this year, 2023, box office, popcorn, and concessions will not get us there. Will not. We got to have box office up around 11 to 12 billion, and that won't happen until next year before we will have a profitable quarter. So we got to get through this year. We're getting better every year. One quarter, like Q2 being pretty good, does not save us the next two quarters. We'll probably lose $400 million or more in Q3 and Q4 combined. You know how much cash we have, right? 600 million. It is critical that they get this cash raise going, or we are all done. No, I'm not a lawyer, Cha-ching, but you're dodging the question. What did I say? Well, final chance. I'm going to be really generous this morning. What did I say that hurt your feelings? In what way is me providing impartial coverage here and talking about the financial statements making you in any way think that I'm minimizing the impact of this case? You get one more chance to advocate on your behalf. This is not a channel for emotional people that want to hear clickbait. I do my best every day to come here and provide you guys as impartial coverage. I advocate for this company not running out of cash. That is the only thing that I'm here to explain to you guys. I don't care about the CEO. I don't care about Ape. I don't care about AMC. I don't want all of our investment to go to zero. Cha-ching says, I'm saying this is a law matter now, not as financial as it was yesterday. But look, buddy, if you don't understand the fact that this company is running out of cash, if the court dragged this out till December, all of our investments going to zero. If AMC can't raise cash, we're done. The court can be right all day long. The case could be, yeah, they could drag it out if they wanted to, but they, thank God, are not trying to drag it out. They're actually pushing. The attorney said, look, we need to get a cash raise before August. That was on the call today. You guys heard him say that. It's like, I'm not talking out of my ass here. Artie says, Tony, do you actually expect to make money with your AMC Ape investments? I made a fuck ton of money in June of 2021, Artie. So all of my shares that I'm holding now were, I view them. Look, I paid cash for them just like you guys did, but I also bought options. And while old Matty boy, I bought options when AMC was at $7, $8. And while Matt was buying calls as it was running to 60, I was selling. So whatever happens with this play for me, if it goes to zero, yes, I'm going to lose an account position in AMC and Ape that is in the 5 digits. It doesn't matter what the exact number is. That would not be fun. But, I view them as paid for by the money I paid, I made from the options. Clearly, I still would like to make a profit on them, just like you guys would. But at the end of the day, I'm so pissed off by the people on 50 other channels that lie to you every day, making up things and not one time ever explaining the financials to you, that I'm just about to the point where I don't care what happens with my position. If I could shut these fuckers up, shut them down, and help you see how you are being lied to by clickbait and people yapping at the camera about their feelings every day, never once explaining anything to you about financials or the peril that this company is in. Literally telling you, if I don't get my way with the MOAS, I want this company to go bankrupt. That is the most idiotic statement that I have ever heard. I am not on board with that. Omar says they have Ape to raise cash. Yeah, but what if Ape was ruled illegal, Omar? What they want is for Ape to be ruled illegal. Then you can't raise cash with it because it has no value. Ape will go to zero if, for example, AMC were to lose this case because it was illegal. And I don't care about my position on Ape. I can make enough in a week to cover my position. It's not difficult. I'm not sitting here telling you anything because I'm worried about my AMC shares or my APE shares. But the millions of you that have APE, you will see it go to zero, for example, if it was ruled illegal. So that's going to wipe out a lot of people. That's not a good situation. Forget about me. Millions of people will see their APE wiped. And on top of that, the company will have literally no way to raise cash because APE would be illegal and there's no shares approved on AMC. And we would be done, for example, if AMC lost this case. Dan says, our lawyers said we did need to raise the money. Yeah, I wish I knew if that was the plaintiff or the defense that said that, but they recognize, the attorneys recognize the danger of where we're at right now. That's why they brought it up today to the judge. We need to get some cash raised before August, is what they said. Exactly the same thing I've been telling you guys for weeks. Let me see what someone asked about cost to borrow. Cost to borrow right now is $350%, just shy of 26% short interest. Justin says, Tony, you're spewing facts, but you sound negative. Yeah, because, guys, if you're on a fact-based channel, guess what? I'm not spoon-feeding you hopium. You have become addicted to people lying to you. Yeah, you say I'm being negative, I'm being factual. I hope you can one day understand the importance of what I just said. All right, for the next 5 minutes, if I see any comment that is questionable, you're going to be permanently blocked. So get your best shot in. If you don't like facts, call me a name, get your best shot in. Say, Tony, I prefer hopium over facts. Lie to me, Tony. I'm just going to caution you, though. If it looks any way negative, I'm going to hit that. So those of you that like this channel, this is your time to don't take a chance. There's no coming back from a block. I'm not here to spoon feed hopium to crybabies. There's 50 other channels you can go to for that. Anya says it's time for a prayer. Goad says, is there a way to find out if Antara is shorting AMC? No, there's no filings for short positions. We can look at options trades and make some guesses what they're doing. How would court handle more shares in disclosure than exist? There's no matter in front of the court. Arcom, who asked that? Billy. The share count is not a matter that was in any filing. They're not going to talk about share count. Nobody filed a complaint about the share count. That should tell you something. Stephen, good morning. Can we talk Highcroft? Yeah, I mean, I've done extensive coverage. I really don't want to go over Highcroft. Stephen, just go watch my last video 2 weeks ago. Highcroft is dead money until they start mining again. So play it cautious. Hope for some good news. But there's not a lot of good news I expect out of Highcroft. Please, guys, people have been lying to you for a year now about Highcroft. I've been very consistent from March of last year on what you can expect with Highcroft, and I have not been incorrect. I've put 4 or 5 videos out telling you exactly what was going to happen over the last year, and everything I said in those videos has come true. NorCal says I need a moderator. I don't like my moderators to mute people. I'd rather just boot them myself. There's no muting on this channel. It's just an automatic boot. I don't mind people disagreeing with me, but you're gonna come at me with some of that spoon-fed hopium bullshit, I'm gonna smack you. All right, Chopper Harley, goodbye. He got his little shot in. Tony, you're a clown. Adios. There's 50 other channels where you can get spoon-fed bullshit. Good luck. Why is Highcroft mining? Why are they not mining? They stopped mining in November, a year ago, November of 2021. They stopped mining before we even got it. Let's see, we got in March of 2022. They had stopped mining before AMC even bought. The money that Highcroft made over the last year was ore that they had already dug up going through the leach pads. And now the leach pads are done. All the ore is gone. All those silver coins you're buying from Highcroft, that's not even their silver. They have no inventory left. It was on the last financial statement. So they're exploring, and they got a shit ton of ore. They got a shit ton of silver and gold under the ground. But they got to get a new drill plan and build a new milling plant. That's going to take probably a couple of years. So I would say be very patient with your Highcroft, and I will consider adding to my position, but I'm not in a hurry to do it because I think it's gonna be very volatile over the next year. Yes, Highcroft is trying to do a reverse split. I would say if you don't want Highcroft to be delisted, you should vote for that reverse split. If you own Highcroft and you vote against the reverse split, you're voting for it to get kicked down to the pink sheets. I hope you realize that. I've heard people make videos saying, I'm not voting for that reverse split. If it doesn't pass, I'm selling my shares. I'm not going to hold a company that's getting booted down to the pink sheets. There's zero ability for Highcroft to push their price up because they have no revenue coming in for the next year. If they don't do the reverse split, it's gonna be, listen to what I'm saying right now. If the reverse split doesn't pass, this company is going to be booted down to the OTC. And I will sell. And I wish you all luck. It's not that I want a reverse split on Highcroft. Don't get me wrong. Just the simple fact is they're under $1 and they will be delisted. Reverse split it buys them time. Will it still go down after the reverse split? Absolutely, because they have no income. I'm telling you exactly what's going to happen. They will reverse split, they'll stay on the NASDAQ, and the price will still come down. Because no income. It's a play for the patient, and the really patient will wait for the absolute best opportunity, and then it's still a gamble. Because when we get to the end of the expiration, and they're going to pitch to us how much money they need to spend, it's going to make your head spin. How much money they need to spend to build a milling plant they're going to also then tell you we need to do some dilution and raise more money, or they could take on debt. That's what's coming for Highcroft. And so I think the price is going nowhere but down. Then when they do that dilution or raise debt, build the milling plant, get back to milling, then if all that works and the price of gold and silver is still high enough to justify all of that expense, then Highcroft becomes a decent play. This is a multi-year play, and it could be derailed at any time by, for example, the price of gold and silver falling. I'm not expecting that, but they could say, look, the time's not right to spend the money to build the milling plant. We're going to put the project on hold. That could happen. Highcroft still has plenty of cash, Katniss. They have plenty of cash. The money that they raised last year is being used to get them through this expiration period. And they have plenty. They have plenty of cash to last a year and a half, 2 years. But when it comes to building the milling plant, I don't think there's enough cash to do that. Chris says it doesn't make sense that Aaron got involved in a Highcroft. I don't disagree with your feelings, Chris. And if Highcroft ends up going bust or bankrupt, I will make a video 100% agreeing with you. He fucked up. He spent, what was it, $23 million? But if a couple years from now, Highcroft ends up mining all that gold and silver, I think you're going to be very happy. He spent $23 million to buy 23 million shares and got 23 million warrants for additional shares. If Highcroft is able to crank out some revenue and really get that milling plant, that mining operation going again, and the price of gold and silver go up, it could be a very good investment. You can't judge it until they either go bankrupt or they get to mining again. So I'm going to give AMC a pass for the next couple years until we see what happens. If they go bankrupt, it was absolute. If Highcroft goes bankrupt, no doubt it was a waste of money. It was a gamble, and it was a bad one. But if they generate revenue, if they get back to mining, I think we could be okay. Hoops Dad, thank you. Have a good day. Rob says, I don't. Yeah, that is a good point, Rob. Why would they invest in Highcroft when there's other mining companies? I don't have a good answer for you. He was helping out Mudrick. How about that? Maybe he got a really good deal on Highcroft. We can speculate about a lot of stuff, but we won't know the final answer for a couple of years. Why didn't he pay off the debt instead of buying Highcroft? I don't know. I mean, when they had 1.8 billion, 23 million was not a lot. And if he could 3x or 5x that investment in 2 years, you'd take that every day of the week. If you could make 100% by holding something for 2 years, you outperformed every index out there. If you could make 200%, 500%, you would be a fucking hero. But we can't judge him because we're not there yet. If it goes bankrupt, if Highcroft goes bankrupt, I will judge him. You can count on it. I'm not going to make excuses for a bad investment. I'm just saying it's too early to judge the investment. We don't have the end of the story yet. Raul, what do I think about Mullen? Well, I mean, I made a video on Mullen a couple weeks ago. Mullen's not going to generate any meaningful revenue till the end of 2024. They'll make a little bit on Vans and IGO. Maybe this black box technology will be something. I need to see some real world results on the black box. Other than that, please watch my Mullen video. I'm not a Mullen cheerleader. I'm just going to tell you exactly what's up with Mullen. It's a very risky play. They have no production. They're not planning on producing the Mullen 5 till the end of 2024. And they're burning cash like a mother. There's going to be dilution. There's going to be a reverse split, and you're dealing with a company that has no revenue. It's until they can show the money. Mullen is a very risky play. I do have a very small position that I just bought in. I bought my first little bit of Mullen after waiting 2 years at 25 cents, and then I bought a little more at 10 cents. I told you guys a couple weeks ago, when I bought that, I bought it knowing that that could go to zero. That's how little I put in, because I would not be surprised if Mullen goes bankrupt. I hope they don't, obviously. I obviously bought it because I think that there could be some little FOMO run-up on news. If there's a FOMO run-up on news, I will be selling my Mullen. I'm hoping to double my money. If I can get in at 10 cents and get out at 20 or anything higher than that, I'm good. I'll judge the news when it drops. So I'm just waiting for the next people running it up on news. If we find out it's fantastic news, like Washington, D.C. says, this black box shit, this is legit, well then, hey, I'll hold that Mullen and write it up. But when you see me cover Mullen, it's going to be my usual, you got talked into another play. We got to get better than this. We got to get better than getting talked into all of these plays of companies losing money. Like, you don't want a portfolio full of those. Every play you have, if the company's not turning a profit, is a gamble. It's speculation. You're not investing in Mullen. You're gambling on Mullen. I know that I'm gambling on Mullen. That's the difference. I want you to be able to say that. I'm gambling on Mullen and I love it. If you can say that and feel it and mean it, then you'll be fine if Mullen goes to zero because you know what you bought. But if you think Mullen is an investment, you're kidding yourself. It's not an investment till they're turning a profit. Same thing with people that thought they invested in AMC at $50. That was not an investment. You bought a run-up. You speculated. This is very harsh talk. I get it. I'm done cradling people. Thoughts on MMAT? Every time I look at MMAT, David, I see no reason to buy it. I've said that for the last year and a half. Look at the chart. If the chart is going from the top left to the bottom right, I don't want anything to do with it. When MMAT is able to turn a profit, come back and talk to me. Katniss, do I think the settlement will happen? Yes. I've said from day one, AMC will get their conversion and their reverse split. Absolutely. I think it will happen. Will they not go bankrupt? Is your second question. If they can get this deal done with the settlement by end of June, I think we'll be fine. What are the shorts going to do between now and then? I don't know. I mean, we've been holding comfortably at this level. I mean, it's dangerous to short AMC. Box office is increasing. There's a lot of good movies. The industry is not dead. Streaming is in trouble. I just don't see them driving it down and holding it, for example, to $3. You don't want to be on the wrong side of a play when the industry is recovering. They're putting on the pressure now because they know the company's running out of cash. Will the judge rule ape to be illegal? No, she will not. There's a settlement on the table. The plaintiffs they've already walked away from their argument that ape was illegal. We're moving into settlement now. Guys, if I need to do a video, I will, but I'm telling you from research that I have done, AMC is not the first company to do this. Create these units from preferred shares. We're absolutely not the first company, and they had every legal right to do it. It is it's part of incorporating in Delaware and creating blank check preferred stock. There's 100% legal precedence. In fact, that is what blank check preferred stock is there for. Companies to create literally what they want out of thin air. And exactly what AMC did has been done before in other companies. I've pulled up the filings and read through them, and the wording is exactly the same. It's literally copy and paste boilerplate language from the lawyer handbook. So when I say it was not illegal, it's because I've seen the exact same wording in other companies' previous 8Ks. How much cash would I like to see in the bank? I'd like to see AMC raise $2 billion, Chris. I'm not here pushing pay off the debt. That's not anything. I might have said that, that AMC could pay off the debt. But as I thought about it, and as I look at the cash position running down, and knowing that we're probably not going to have a shot to a profitable quarter till 2024, I would like $2 billion in cash on AMC's balance sheet. And then anything above that, I'd be okay with them paying off some of the debt. AMC Panda, what's up? Will this case go for another 2 months? It looks like the plaintiffs are going to submit, Allegheny's attorneys are going to submit the settlement to the judge within the next week. And they're talking about having the settlement hearing June 29th, is what I heard today. Dennis is asking about share count. Guys, AMC publishes the share count on a regular basis. That is the only share count. And it is exactly what you see in AMC's filings. It's about 519 million AMC and about 1 billion ape, just shy of 1 billion. That is the share count. Any other share count you want of synthetics, you would need to sue the DTCC to get that. You want to know how many synthetics are on the books, you're going to have to sue the DTCC. Not Money Advice says, from Chancery Daily, a tweet, has there ever been another preferred convertible that has traded publicly alongside its counterpart? Ours is not is she talking about AMC and Ape? When I think of convertible, I think of, I guess it is a convertible, isn't it? It's going to convert from the preferred to a common Yes, there has been. I guess I got to pull up my old DD, but Chancery Daily, yes. The only thing on the other companies that did what AMC did, and they had a vote to convert it. The only thing that I saw that was different is, you know how AMC instructed ComputerShare to vote uncast shares in proportion to the cast shares? The other two companies that I saw that did exactly what AMC did, they did not instruct ComputerShare to vote in proportion. They said that those shares would not be voted. That is the only thing I saw that was different. So as I've talked about this whole legal case, that was really the thing that I said was kind of like a gray area that the judge might rule on. But now, since there's a settlement, we're not going to get a ruling on that, I don't think. Is AMC struggling against high interest debt payments? Our interest payment every quarter is about, if I recall, about $80 million a quarter. And then really, you know, what we're up against, Tristan, is when it's like a balloon payment. You pay the interest, but at some point you got to pay the piper. You got to pay off that debt. What's up, Kevin? Free from it all? How long you been listening in to my ranting? Mountaineer says they appear to be dead set on filling the gap on GameStop. Yeah, let's put up the GameStop chart. I did sell my GameStop at $24.25. I've talked to you guys about this because I expected it to fill the gap, and I'm waiting for it to come back down, and I'll rebuy. I sold at $24.25, locked in a profit on March 23rd, right up here. And this was my original back after the reverse split, or the split. This was where I said I'd like to buy, and I did buy some here. And I bought a lot at 22. I did not buy at 15. I didn't time the bottom well. But I had bought enough at 22 that it compensated for what I had bought up here. The cheaper something gets, the more I buy. So I only made a little bit, but I got a profit at $24.25, and once I saw it start coming down, I didn't sell at 27. I was hoping to have a 2-day run. We didn't get it, so I sold. And I said when it comes back down here to 15, 16, 18, that I would consider buying again. So I think, yeah, we'll probably retest 15.50 on GameStop. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm fine buying it anywhere below this red line, which I have drawn at 19.40. If I buy some at 19, and then if I buy more at 17 and 15, I'll increase the quantity I buy, the cheaper it gets. Do I believe in corruption, Tindy Lion? Yes, absolutely. The whole market's corrupt. You're being lied to on a daily basis, not just by, you're being corrupted not just by many CEOs, government regulatory agencies, but on top of that, even worse, the pump and dumpers that are rampant on Reddit, the bad DD on Reddit, the clickbaiters on YouTube, pushing a bunch of money-losing companies on you, telling you it's going to moon. There's corruption everywhere. You got to get smarter. Build yourself a portfolio of companies that actually are making a profit, and have a, if you like to gamble like I do, then we put a small percentage of our portfolio in the gambling place. If everything you're holding is a company that's losing money, it's probably not going to end well. Unless you're hopping in and out, right? You can hop in and out of these plays, but you got to get in early and get out early. Don't be buying things. Don't be chasing plays. You're going to get caught at the top on something. A couple of those and you're toast. Unless you're really good at pulling the cord. You know, if you buy at the top and you see it coming down 10%, get the fuck out. Thank you, Joe. Joe says a letter is good enough. You do need to be at the court. It will be crowded, but will not deny you if you want to be there. Yeah, Chance the lawyer said your best way to advocate your objection to the settlement is to show up in person. Remember, you're not at the point that the settlement is entered in. The only thing that they are going to want to hear is what is, like they said on the call today, what is your legal basis for objecting to the settlement? I want you to be very clear about that as you're writing the letters. You heard them say it on the call today. What is your legal basis for objecting to the settlement? Make sure your letter, if you're going to object, is addressing that point like they said on the call today. Not Money Advice says if this settlement goes through, every company will dilute at will. The settlement's going to happen, friend. I don't know what to tell you. Am I buying more ape? Brian says. Brian, at right now with the legal uncertainty, I've been hesitant about adding any more ape. I did buy some a week or two ago, just a little bit at $1.50 in case we got a good news run up that the settlement was in and it would see a quick pop to $3. We're not seeing that yet. We might need to see the official settlement paperwork come in before that happens. My general advice to everybody right now is be very cautious. And look, I got a lot of people in my Discord that are doing their own thing, buying AMC, buying ape. I'm taking a more conservative approach. I already have enough. And I know that the company wants to dilute, and there is a risk that that could drive the price down. So if I'm going to add to my position, I'm going to wait and see if the price goes down. And I'm fairly confident that 2024 will be a good year. If there's a squeeze between now and then, I'm already positioned. So I'm not trying to make my entire portfolio AMC and ape. I've already got enough. I'm not trying to trade this week, that week, figure out, it's just too much. It's too much uncertainty. So my for myself is mainly just sit still and let this shit play out. And if the price drops, when I think that it's dropped enough, then I'll go in and buy some more. Then it really becomes a play of patience, just like everything else. John says, what is the timeline? What we heard on the call today is they want to do the settlement hearing around June 29th. Then if the settlement is approved, right, there's still a chance at that hearing, the judge could say anything. Like, am I confident that it's going to be approved? Yes. Does that mean that I'm going to be right? It does not mean I'm going to be right. I could be wrong. The judge could deny the settlement. If enough properly voiced legal objections to the settlement come in, then she could deny the settlement, or she could tell them to modify it, make it better, give them 1 share of AMC for every 5, right? You could modify the settlement. So assuming it's approved though, whether it's in the format that they submit within the next week or the judge makes them modify it, assuming it's approved, then AMC will probably that day go file the paperwork to amend the original articles of incorporation in Delaware, and that will kick off then the process of then starting the reverse split and the conversion. How long that takes, I don't know. I don't know if it'll be 1 day or a week. I don't know for sure. Slow-Mo Joe says, Zip Trader seems to get a lot of boom boom projections. He's got a big following. He's creating boom booms. He's what Steven calls a tout service. So if you're following his plays, and I used to watch him when I had time a couple years ago. I don't watch him now. But if you're following his plays, if you can get in them early and get out early, he's got some. He's moving the price. I stopped watching him because most of his plays didn't work out. They were just pump and dumps. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you recognize it for what it is. John says Mullen and Mr. Harge were chosen to put on that black box technology to all the Chevy Bolts in DC. Yes, that is beautiful. I said a couple days ago, before I knew about Mr. Harge, when I knew about Mr. Harge, when I first heard about him this weekend, that I won't be satisfied with Mr. Harge or his technology until I can see a real world test. And then the very next day, I find out that they're gonna put it on all of these bolts in DC. That is beautiful. That's what I want to see. So I'm happy he's doing that. I need to see real world test, not a car up on a rack. SL asking, do I see a large run potentially happening? I mean, you can, if there's a catalyst, SL, yes. Do I have a catalyst that I can tell you that's going to create a large run? I do not at this time. The best thing we have going for us right now is the high short interest and the high cost to borrow. We need one more piece. We need the missing piece. We need some news to kick this thing up, and then we need the buying pressure to sustain it. It's got to be damn good news. Or somebody on the other side, those fucking shorts, somebody needs to screw up and get in trouble and, cause a flurry of buying for them to cover. Could be news. It could be, I don't, crystal ball is not that good, my friend. Not Money Advice says she could deny the settlement. She could. And if APE is not merged into AMC, then APE becomes worthless. So millions of people holding APE will see it fall close to zero. You should be aware of that if you're holding APE. I see that as what I call legal risk. There's a lot of different risks in every play. If you're holding APE, you are subject to legal risk. It's a possibility. I mean, we don't know for sure. And my confidence should not be financial advice to you. I have no idea what the judge is ultimately going to rule. But I feel pretty confident that it'll go okay. Why file bankruptcy if another vote can produce the needed dilution? Here's the deal, not Money Advice. If, let's talk about this for a second. Do you know, someone put in the chat, I know the number, how many common stockholders voted? How many AMC shareholders voted in March? Out of 519 million, how many bothered? I know that not everybody got their ballot, but setting that aside, if there's billions of shares, how many actual votes were submitted? Tell me how many million? 100 million, 150, 187, 270. I want to see who's paying attention. Noah. Bye, Noah. I already made my video. I'm not ape heavy, dumb shit. Being heavy on any one position goes against everything I advocate on this channel. You're listening to people that are lying to you. I've put out my video telling you exactly what I think about any of you being heavy in anything. And if you don't believe me, ask anybody with a badge on their name what I tell them in the Discord. Stop buying shit. Don't go heavy on anything. They still do it anyways, but I'm certainly not. 185 office music. Yes, that is approximately 185 million common shares voted. All right. So second question, second trivia of the day. If Adam Aaron was to say, okay, ape was ruled illegal, therefore we want to do another proxy vote to, we're not even going to reverse split anything. We just need some more shares of AMC, right? Because we need to raise money. So we're going to do another proxy. Do you guys know how many votes need to come in to approve that? Out of 519 million, how many votes have to come in to approve authorizing more shares? I'll give you a minute. Let's see who's paying attention here. It has to be a majority of the outstanding shares. So yeah, roughly about 260 million. 260 million people would need to vote to increase the AMC common, and we can't even get 187 to show up. That's why he did what he did with Antara, because he knew that retail is lazy and not enough people were going to vote. And they need to raise money. That we're not going to get 260 million people showing up to vote. That's just, that is the sad reality. I think, you know, all of you who are, if you think there's 10 billion synthetics, how come we can only get 187 million votes? That's another question that everybody should be asking themselves. Everybody got a proxy. Well, sorry, not everybody got a proxy. But if there were 10 billion of you out there with shares, 10 billion shares in 4 billion shareholders' hands, why didn't we get 519 million? Why couldn't we even get 5% of that supposed 10 billion shares to show up? With all the attention on this, we got 187 million showed up. The votes are counted by an independent auditor, not by AMC. Dan says, typically speaking, it is normal. That is correct for a low percentage of shareholders to vote. That's why Adam Aaron brought in Antara, to make sure that the vote went through. Nobody with their eyes open would deny that. He knew he knew that not enough people were going to show up to vote. And they need to raise money. So he did what he needed to do. Was it all rigged? I don't know. Maybe. I'm telling you, this company is fighting not to go bankrupt. They are going to do whatever they need to do to not go bankrupt. You can call it a rigged Antara vote. I call it desperate times require desperate measures. I'm sure they would have preferred that we just approve the share raise back in 2021, but we didn't, and he called it off. He knew he wasn't going to get 250 million votes. And if the settlement was ruled illegal and he had no other option, I don't think he'd go the route of having another proxy to increase the AMC shares. I think he would he'd take those other 40 million preferred and sell them to an institution. So you're still going to be diluted. He can set whatever voting rights he wants on those other 40 million and sell them. They've been pre-approved since 2013. He's not going to sit by and let the company go bankrupt. I know I'm ranting and railing that the company will go bankrupt to hammer home the importance of why this settlement needs to hurry up and be done, or you're going to get some preferred dropped in the lap of a institution, and you're not going to like that. I'd rather play with the devil I know. We know what's coming with APE and AMC. If that was wiped off the table because of the lawsuit, you're going to get something else, and you're probably not going to like it. They're not going to just sit by idly and let the company. I mean, they could. Bed Bath & Beyond did. They waited too long. But if I was AMC, I'd create some new class of preferred share and sell them directly to an institution, bypassing retail altogether. They absolutely can do that. And we will not like it. Patrick says, I thought the synthetics were just sold. Look, Patrick, if they're in your account, you should have a vote for them. Doesn't matter if they're synthetic or not. The only people who can't vote is the ones who loaned out their shares. If you loaned your shares out, you don't vote. If you own a share that you bought fair and square, you should have a vote. Davinda Varsher. What's up, amigo? Let me see what my wife texted me. We have a sick cat. She said the vet has me on the schedule for 3:30. Okay. I got my white cat. Poor guy. He hasn't really been eating. He's been sneezing, and he was like open mouth breathing last night. She almost took him to emergency last night. That is hella expensive. You don't walk out of emergency overnight vet with a bill less than $1,000. So I said, can we hope he survives overnight? I didn't really say that, but my wife is in the vet field. She made an assessment that he was okay to not go to the vet till today. But the poor guy we don't know what's wrong with him. He's clearly not feeling well. Justin says new cats are cheaper. Yeah. Oh man. If something happened to him, it's going to be rough in this house. Kershaw says if Interactive Brokers decides to loan out your shares, which you did not sign up for, do you still have your voting rights? You will not. No. So I have a margin account. My big account that I day trade with is a margin account, and I have AMC in it. I got, so they could have loaned them out, but I got all of my votes. A year ago, I was missing 10% of my votes, roughly. But I had all my votes this year on every account, but only one of them is a margin account. Dom says, can I recap the meeting? Yeah, so recap. Welcome everybody that's just joining in. Recap of the teleconference. It looks like they're penciling in June 29th to have the settlement hearing. The attorneys, she chastised the attorneys for not already having the settlement filed. The plaintiff's attorney is the one that's going to be filing that, Allegheny's attorney. He said, we'll get that to you, Judge, here in the next few days. Then they will have to notify all of us. They said there's about 3.8 million shareholders that they're going to need to mail notices to. I'm assuming that they're going to mail. There will also be electronic notifications and an 8K filing. And then after that is done, you'll have the opportunity to mail in an objection to the settlement. And the judge said, when you send in your letter, make sure you tell us what is your legal objection to the settlement. Provide evidence that you own shares, including a screenshot of your position and your name. Blank out your account number except for the last 4 digits. That's what I heard today. Other than that, I think there will be clear instructions on what to do once the settlement's filed. So I would advise wait a week or however many days it takes, and we'll go over the instructions together if you want to file an objection. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. If you want to file an objection, I will help you figure out how to do it. The only thing I've been saying as far as mailing in letters is the settlement's coming. There'll be a time to lodge an objection, and that would be the appropriate time. But if you wanted to mail in a letter because it made you feel better, then that's fine too. The judge said that the attorneys will review the letters along with the special master and make sure that there's a valid legal objection and that proof of ownership is there. And if that is the case, then she wants to see those letters. Who's paying for the mailing? I would presume AMC. They said $2.9 million to cover the cost of the mailing. So basically, we're paying for it. Hate Time says, why with 3.8 million shareholders can't we push the price up? I like to use this analogy, Hate Time. Retail is buy and hold, right? Once we've bought and we're holding, let's just assume that of those 3.8 million, 3.6 million of them are doing nothing but holding. Okay? You have now all become bystanders, observers in this play. There's still float trading every day, and the traders are deciding the price. Everyone who's buying and holding is an observer at this point. Who's ever buying today, who's ever selling today, is setting the price. That is how I would explain it to you. You need massive buying. You need 3.8 million people buying every day to move the price. Or ideally, all buying in a run-up, right? That's how things get moving. You get people pile in. Oh, it's moving. Let me jump in. You know how we all do on all the trading channels. Everybody piles into the same play. It's an overwhelming, a massive amount of buying at the same time.
that moves the price. Buying and holding does not move the price. That was a line of horse shit. Buying and holding decreases the float that they if they needed to cover and you're buying and holding, you have made it harder for them to cover. When a squeeze happens, you have made it harder for them to cover, right? I think we can all agree on that. But in the meantime, when no one's buying, we're small fry. All the trading that's going on, 80% of it every day is big institutions and high-speed trading firms. It's not us. They are setting the price every day by the action of them buying and selling. They are deciding the price. It's up to us to observe that, and if you want to buy it on the lows, is what I would say. When you're range bound like this, or if it gets pushed down, you know. Jim says, who is selling? There's always some float, Jim. Big institutions, for example, Vanguard and BlackRock, how many shares do they have between them? 80 million? Just for example, if they loaned all those out, and I can tell you, as much as we think that all of us are just buying and holding, there's still people trading this. So between shares that are loaned out and people that are trading it, there's enough. You could have 10 million shares, trade hands 10 times, and get 100 million in volume. High-speed trading firms recycling the same shares. They're all competing against each other. All that volume could be the same batch of shares, just trading hands, trading hands, trading hands. It's called trading. I'm not in FRC, Mike, no. Herman says, I heard a smart man say the greatest facade in the markets is that retail can influence price action. Look, there's tickers every day that we see move massively. I don't know always, is retail starting that, or is some institution starting it to lure retail in? But retail can move a price. But you got to be smart enough to know what they're doing. You don't know if we started the price on ticker LMNOP. Did we start the price moving, or were we lured in? That's why the higher any of these go, these daily plays, the more suspicious I get. The higher it goes, the more I want to get out before they rug pull me. I think, Herman, if you can kind of adopt that mindset that we're just along for the ride on every single one of these plays, you'll end up being more profitable at the end of every month. The mantra is GNS. The price is going up. The shorts are scared. No, they're setting a trap. They lured you in, set a trap, and then hammered the fuck out of it. Every one of these plays, they're setting a trap. Just start thinking like that. You'll get out of plays faster and keep more profits if you start changing your mindset. Shorts aren't scared. The ones who were dumb enough to short GNS at $1 got fucked, but somebody else came in. They're like, oh baby, look at these guys running that up to $7. Boss, can I get authorization to triple down on a short at 7? Do it. Fuck them over. Rug pull those retail traders thinking it's going to $100. That plus the fact that GNS and all of these companies had warrants and convertibles, and they were just running those up to help their big institutions out. That was all a scam. Every single one of those naked short plays was a scam to get their big money lenders out from under their convertibles, or to help the company raise money. Those were all pump and dumps. GNS, Cosmos, Hellbiz, Finger, GTII. "20 seconds on the call, Stephen. June 29th is what we expect for the settlement hearing. Hate Time says, so supply and demand is muddy waters with high frequency trading firms. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could have the lower the trading float, the more something can be squeezed. The easy, like if retail truly were buying and holding 90% of the float, that leaves only 10% to be traded. And so a squeeze can kick off really easy. That's the good news. But right, you need a catalyst. You need somebody to push the price up. And then if we're really holding, it can get spicy really quick. But there's just no catalyst for any institution to go in. Any institution that wanted to run AMC up right now, they'd be attacked by 10 others that would short it right back down. So it's tough to get this stock to move right now. Plus the float, pretty big. It's much easier to do on a low float stock to run the price up. All right, guys, I probably should eat some breakfast and drink another big glass of water. Thank you. And I got a couple videos that I said I was going to do for you, including the first one I'm going to do today is finish up the Q1 earnings estimate. I will provide you all my DD. I'll show you the model, explain again how I came up with the numbers. It's based off of the income statement. You're going to see previous income statements, calculations based off of previous history, looking at the Q1 box office, which we know was 1.7 billion domestic. I'll lay out for you what I expect the earnings to be and how much cash AMC burned in Q1. We'll find out in a week or so, early May, how close to correct I am. I'm not factoring in any meaningful contribution from popcorn because it was only in a handful of stores for a couple weeks. It's not going to, you'd need 800 million in profits to move the needle on to get profitable from popcorn sales. There's just not 800 million in profits that we got in 2 weeks. Probably won't even get that for a year. But what else? I got the impact of Highcroft. You know, Highcroft affects our income statement. The beginning and end price of Highcroft every quarter goes directly to the income statement on investment income or loss. It was negligible, so that's not really a factor. So I think, you know, it's pretty straightforward. Q1 prediction should be relatively easy, and unless there's something unexpected, you know, if there's a one-time charge or a one-time income that I didn't account for, then my numbers could be wrong. But I'll lay it all out for you. And anyone who disagrees with what I show, I would love to see your model and your projections on a spreadsheet, and we can have a conversation about it. Because I'm not saying I'm going to be right. I like to have good old-fashioned debates Just be grown up about it and bring your DD. If you're just sitting there talking in front of a camera and you don't have something I can look at, then I'm just going to say you're speculating. So I'll provide that for you here. If I can get it done before I got to take the cat to the vet, I'll do that. Shouldn't take me more than a couple hours. And then I got to catch up on all the Mullen news. Bed Bath & Beyond right now is trading at 20 cents. Mullen is at 8.5. I was thinking about doing a Mullen video just to share my thoughts on Mr. Harge, but there's so much information dropping, it's hard to keep up. And I had a very busy day yesterday, so I'm behind on my Mullen DD. I got some blue chip stocks that I want to provide coverage for you this week. Let's see, I did Lucid. I want to do Rivian and Tesla. Rivian's not blue chip. Costco, Amazon, a few others. It's going to be a busy few weeks. And on top of that, I need to keep studying for my SIE exam on next Monday. So, going to be busy around here, what I'm saying. I will be hard at work for you. And I look forward to your comments and questions once I get that AMC video out. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your time. Hope you got some value out of our little talk today. And I will see you when I see you, I guess. Soon.